John, are we looking at the original bridge here?
Yes, some of these pilings are from the original bridge. Some of them are not. And the bridge was used until about 1951, and a pulpwood truck collapsed the bridge, and it hadn't been repaired since.
And this was the original site. And how deep was this river at the time of the battle?
The swamp ranged in places from 6 inches to chest high. The swamp actually ends right here, but it goes a full 3/4 of a mile to a mile along that road. This is the end of the swamp. By the time they got here, they were pretty well worn out from crossing the swamp. This is what made it such a strong position. We have a better view of the earthworks, but it's kind of deceptive. During the 1930s, there was a road cut to make it easier to view the earthworks here. The earthworks actually would have been sloping more gradually down. As it is now, would have given the Union Army a place to hide and fire. This did not exist back in 1865.
So they sloped more toward us, did they?
They sloped more towards us, and there was no place to hide. This was open cotton field, and anybody that came this far was liable to be shot before he ever had a prayer or a hope of getting to the top.
My goodness. And so these trees then grew up after the battle. This was a regular cotton field.
Right. These trees probably within the last 30 or 40 years.
Is this the end of the trench, John?
Yes, sir. As far as we can tell, this is the end. We've had archaeologists test further down, and they haven't found anything. One thing that's interesting is you can see there's turns in the trench, and that allows the infantry to have a crossfire on the approaching enemy.
Oh, my.
And that little mound you see further over, we'll talk about that later, but that, we believe, was the other artillery position I haven't talked about yet. The other thing this shows you is how vulnerable the Confederates would be if they were flanked from this end. The enemy could attack down the trench and have a good line of fire and chase the Confederates out of the trench.
And the Confederates would be shooting at each other, wouldn't they?
It would be hard to shoot at the Union troops coming down the end of this trench.
Oh, my.
12-pound smoothbore Napoleon cannon.
Oh, my.
And a 10-pound rifled Parrott gun.
Right here.
Right, and as you'll be able to see when you get here, it interacts with the other battery to form a crossfire that would command the swamp.
Good heavens, those boys slogged through that swamp and they got a surprise coming, haven't they?
There's another thing, too. They put sharpshooters to... the first frontal attack ran the cannoneers out of their position, but they couldn't take the cannon because of the heavy infantry support. But encouraged by this, the Illinois troops decided they were going to set up sharpshooters in the swamp and kill off the cannon crews. The only problem is the cannon trained on them. It hit very few of them, but what they did was cover them with so much mud that they couldn't see the chute. We're standing on a wooden platform that would have been where a similar wooden platform or a log platform would have been on February the 2nd, 1865. This little indenture, perhaps that one or that one, was positioned for two more guns. We told you about the howitzers.
Yes.
But the Confederates also had a smoothbore Napoleon cannon and a rifled 10-pound cannon that they could direct into the swamp.
Wow. And this is where it would have been fired from.
Right. And as you can see from the angle of the trench, this causes it to act with the other guns to perform a crossfire, one of the more desirable military tactics.